So Courtney writes, why do I always assume the worst and try to mentally prepare myself by fretting over every possible worst case scenario the minute I feel like someone or something is slightly off from normal? Okay. So the hit that I get off of this, Courtney, is that this really is all about control. And it's really all about a resistance to getting into deeper relationship with life and the people around you in a way that will open you up to the unknown. So what do I mean by that? So, it sounds like you're intuitive, that you have access to intuition, and it sounds like you then get signals that something might be off with a person or a situation. Now, for me, what that means is if you or I get a hit that something might be off, like that's a piece of information we're receiving. And it's then our job to take that piece of information and get into action around it. So the next step might mean like going to the person who feels off and initiating an honest conversation and saying something like, hey, I'm aware I have this intuition, like, can I check this out with you? Or if there's a situation that feels off, checking in and saying, hey, I'm getting a weird feeling about this. Let me go speak to who I need to speak to. Let me go do the research I need to go do. Let me sort of check out this feeling and then see where it takes me. Now, here's the thing about this process. Once you engage in a process of checking something out with someone or checking a situation out, you are now engaged in a process that is unknown. You don't know where it's going to go. If we're talking about like a person-to-person relationship, you don't know how the other person's going to respond. You don't know if they're going to hear you. You don't know if they're going to freak out at you. And this is what it means to be in relationship with other people, to be in relationship with life. We never know quite where it's going to go. All we can do is surrender to the flow and keep receiving the new information, keep receiving the new information, keep receiving the new information. So what I'm getting off of you is that there's actually something incredibly frightening to you about surrendering to the unknown in relationship, in life. It's kind of like, it's like my heart starts to pull in. I start to kind of tense up. I feel very protective of myself. And it's kind of this feeling of like, I don't know what's going to happen to me here. It's almost like I would say this feeling of I'm afraid I'm going to get attacked here. Like if I open myself up to the unknown, something might really come and take me out. Something might pull the rug out from under me. And for me, I really am drawn to this energy of like being attacked. I'm going to get attacked. It's not safe here for me. Like the second that I kind of open up, someone could come in and take me out. So there's a real fear here. And what I'm getting off it is you're kind of fretting about the worst case scenario and sort of immediately going to the most negative place. It's a covert form of control. So in your mind, it might feel like anxiety about what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. To me, it actually feels like a covert way of shutting down being in the unknown because your mind's already made a decision. It's going to be the worst case scenario. So let me just avoid the whole part where I get into relationship, what's happening. Let me jump to the worst case scenario and I get to shut down the intermediate process. So if I were speaking to you one-on-one or working with you, I would start getting very curious about your relationship to like being attacked. I'm curious about, early experiences. I'm curious about your childhood. I'm curious, did you grow up with a feeling of safety? Did you grow up with a feeling of the rug could be pulled out from under you at any moment, kind of energetically, emotionally, spiritually, physically? What did it mean to you when you were young to be kind of open and in flow and in the process? And did you get shut down there in a way that felt really aggressive or frightening? Because that's what I feel is going on here. A deep fear about opening to the unknown and being in your flow and being in the flow of life. So, what I would say to you, Courtney, is this. I would say the task for you and the potential healing for you is the next time you're in one of these situations where something feels off and you want to go to the worst case scenario, I would say to start risking that next indicated action. Like if you're not to jump to the worst case scenario and you're to stay open to the possibility of complexity, that it's not either or, all good, all bad, worst case scenario, but instead you're open to the possibility, you're open to nuance, you're open to complexity, you're open to the unknown, you're open to checking things out, what would be the next action to take? What would be the next conversation to have with someone to check it out? How would you go about checking out the situation? And I think the task and the challenge for you is to then take that step. Now, what I want to say is I can feel this is easier said than done for you. So give this process space. This isn't about you rushing into some conversation that you're terrified about and bypassing the fear. Get the support that you need. You know, whatever that means or looks like for you. If you need to sort of journal about this and then talk to supportive friends and then talk to your therapist about it, like I'm really saying, take the process seriously. And this is a note to all of you guys. This is the journey of life. This is a spiritual life lived. We greet the circumstances of our lives as opportunities for transformation, as opportunities to change deep energetic patterns in us. But that means we got to give it space. So take it slow, but accept the challenge of getting into the process of checking something out and then seeing all the feelings that brings up in you. And understand that those feelings have nothing to do with the current day situation. Those are your old feelings of fear that have been living in you for a very long time. And they are looking to rise to the surface so they can be felt and released. So let yourself feel them. Get the support that you need. And let the process of checking things out be something that ultimately heals something very scared and young inside you. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to stop there for now. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Leave me comments. Let me know where this took you. And if you have a question for me, DM me. I'm going to be doing more of these. And they might be going even deeper. That's it for now.